Shalom, shalom. I do want to start off this lesson by saying all praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA QADASH for giving me the opportunity to do this lesson. I do want to give double honors to the elders and apostle of Great Millstone for teaching the truth by using precepts upon precepts and line upon line. Today, I might be a little late on this lesson. I kind of fell asleep, but I'll do better next time. But the video was talking about how Trump had threatened Russia to end the war of Ukraine within 51 days. All right, with 51 days. So that's like a month and a couple of change. All right, and this is kind of a threat to Russia. Because last time when America said this to Iran or to another nation, they bombed that nation. Now, obviously, there is a news article that said that they're going to put sanctions on Russia to the point where it's going to hurt them and critically destroy Russia's economy. All right. But it doesn't make sense to use sanctions because you already know sanctions is not working. You already know that if you use sanctions, the economy is going to crash. Now, let's say Trump do use sanctions. That would be beautiful for Trump because we know the elites, the higher ups, want the economy to crash because they want to bring out the new system, the digital currency. All right. But the reason why I'll say that, that's not the only thing that Trump is planning to do is because when he made this threat, I believe it was like 2 days ago, Trump had started giving Ukraine a bunch load of weapons, because it was losing the war against Russia, and they needed help. So they started receiving weapons, armory, med kits, a lot of stuff. And the reason why some people believe so is because Trump is planning to go to war with Russia. All right. I believe that he's actually going to put sanctions on Russia to crash the economy so he can bring out his digital currency. And so they have the excuse to go to war with Russia. So America could seem like a good guy when in reality, America is actually the one that's being the aggressor as usual. All right. So we're actually in the end times, and I thought I should make a quick lesson about it. This video actually came out today, but I kind of fell asleep because I was kind of tired. It's 4 in the morning, but I could still make a lesson. I woke up. Let's make a lesson real quick. Lord, you guys be edified. Lord, you be warned of what's happening, and let's move on. So Isaiah chapter 13, verse 17, it says this: "Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them." All right, and this prophecy is happening as we speak. YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is stirring up Russia against America. And how is he stirring up Russia? By making America poking in the bear. By making America basically being an aggressor against Russia. All right, every time you learn a history, all right, of the old, in World War I and World War II, when the Soviet Union was pressurized by another nation, the Soviet Union would clap back. There's nothing new under the sun. What's happening right now? Who's pressuring Russia right now? America. Who's staring up Russia to go to war? America. And that's what's happening right now. Where prophecy is speaking out. Where YAHAWASHI is doing his great works to fulfill prophecy. Which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Because when this war starts, Russia's not going to care about American currency. Russia's not going to care about what America got, because at this point they're feeling threatened, and they're going to go all out against America in the days we're about to get into. And that's what YAHAWASHI wants. He wants Russia to go all out, because he's going to put a thought on Russia's mind, an evil thought, or I believe that's in the book of Ezekiel 38, to send the nukes towards America, to destroy America. All right. Why? Because America is being the aggressor. America is being the wicked. All right, and ultimately YAHAWASHI is doing that is to fulfill his prophecy to judge America for all the wickedness it had done to Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American, and we're seeing that happening right now. So let's go to verse 18. It says this: "Their bows." What are the bows talking about? the ICBM missiles, or the nukes. Those are the bows. All right, Isaiah the prophet has seen the destruction of America, and he couldn't understand what he saw. The only thing he did saw was what machinery flying to one continent to another continent, like a bow. You know how back in the days in war movies, you know how they point the bow up in the air, they shoot it, it would go up in the air and then come right back down to its target. That's what Isaiah saw. So he described it as a bow, but we all know that in this day and age we don't use bows. We don't, in this day and age we don't use no type of weak 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 material. So when Isaiah the prophet saw the future of how America got destroyed, and he said he saw a bow, what do you think he was talking about? You know, he was actually probably talking about the modern day bow. What's a modern day bow? A nuke, the ICBM missile. It literally goes up in the air like a bow would be, like a back in days bow, and it'll come right back down to its target. And that's what's gonna happen. YAHAWASHI is gonna cause Russia. He's gonna put the spirit upon Russia to basically send their nukes and to follow it, go up in the air, and come right back to America for his wickedness. So Isaiah 13 verse 18, their bows also shall be dashed the young man to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruits of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare no children. All right. So basically, the nukes is not going to care about anybody in America. These nukes are created to what? To destroy, to waste. A book of Isaiah talks about that. How Yahweh created a smith, or to go to work in the coals, to bring out a fruit, or to waste and destroy. Roughly paraphrasing, that's a nuke. All right. So when these nukes is launched in one continent to another continent, they're not gonna stop in midair and be like, oh my gosh, there's a kid. Let me, make a U-turn and start flying back to Russia and explain. No, they're gonna be launched. They're gonna fly in the air, come back down, and they're gonna see its target, and it's gonna do what it's supposed to do: kill, destroy, wipe away, eradicate. All right, and we're in days where America is threatening Russia. All right, this looked like a threat. Now, obviously, Trump could pull back and be like, "Nah, we're not gonna attack. We're not gonna do that. That's World War III with you." He's gonna say that's insane. He wouldn't do that. But Trump is a man of war. Trump is a man of glory. If he sees any possibility of winning a war, Trump is gonna take that chance. Trump is gonna go full throttle. Why? Because he loves fame. He loves honor. He loves of getting all the respect that he could get. And you could tell because by his presidency, how he ruled, how he walks. Every time you hear him talk, it's always about how he says, I did this, I did that, I did that, I did that. That sounds like a guy that really wants attention. Because if you're really a good person, you really wouldn't care of your acknowledgement of doing something good. You just want to do it good either way. Because that's what you're supposed to do. If you're a good person, you just be a good person. Why would you need somebody to give you a compliment of doing something good? All right. So you could tell Trump is a prideful man, a man that wants glory, a man that wants war. And that's what he's going to do. He's going to go to war with Russia. All right. And that's going to backfire because scripture talks about what? Let's go to verse 19. And Babylon, that's America, the glory of kingdom, the beauty of Chaldees, excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. How did YAHAWASHI overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah? He overthrew it with what? Fire and brimstone. He's gonna do the same thing right back to. He's gonna do the same thing to America. He's gonna destroy America with fire and brimstone. So when Trump goes to war, is he going to win? Fuck, of course not. He's not gonna win. He's gonna lose. Why? Because it's already predestined for America to lose. I made a video last week, a couple of days ago, of how basically Yahweh had declared the end since the beginning. He already wrote a story about how America's gonna get destroyed. He wrote a story of how Israel's gonna go into captivity. He wrote a story of how the elect condition in America. He wrote a story of how of everything, every little detail. How you woke up in the morning. Yahweh wrote a story about that since the beginning. All right. So this is nothing, surprising. This is what's going to happen. And can you stop it? No. Can you stop the prophecy of Israel going to captivity? No, we're in captivity right now. Did Esau Edom stop the prophecy of him being in rulership? No, he's in rulership right now. So how much more of his downfall is it going to come to pass? Yes, it is going to come to pass, and that's what's going to come. Verse 20: It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it dwell from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arab pitch tents there, neither shall a shepherd make their fold there. But the wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their house shall be full of doleful creatures, and the owl shall dwell there, and the touchy shall dance there. Basically, when America be destroyed, the animals is just gonna live in America. Verse 22: And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and a dragon in their pleasant palaces, and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. And we're seeing her days not be prolonged. Trump gave Russia 51 days. That don't sound like a day of that doesn't sound like prophecy. It doesn't sound like we're gonna be here next 30 years. It doesn't sound like America's gonna be here in the next 5 years. Sounds like America about to be here for like a couple of years left. Like when I say couple, I'm saying 1, 2, or 3. 2 or 3 or 1 exact or 1. Because the days of prophecy is is basically coming to an end. All right, America is about to be wiped out the map, and we're seeing the days as we speak. Because Trump threatened Russia to end his war within 51 days. Now, like I said, Trump did backfire. Like when Trump threatened China and said he'll put like 200 sanction, China did the same thing. And you know how Trump backfired his word. He went back. All right. He might do the same thing again. But it just comes to shows that what? Even if he backfired, let's say he still went back on his word, it still goes with prophecy. Why? Because he's still going to go to war against Russia. He's still going to go. He's still pushing weapons in Ukraine territory. He's putting military power in Ukraine. He's getting other NATO nations to get ready and bumping up and saying, oh, you raise your money 5% up. That goes in the prophecy book of Joel chapter 3. While the nation says, gather your weapons. Our heathens, gather yourself up for war. So it's still going to prophecy. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they're still going to go to war. That's their plan, and that's prophecy, and that's what's going to happen next. All right. But that's all I want to get into today. I thought I want to talk about the sanctions that Trump is talking about, because it's gonna get worse by by going forward. It's going to get worse. All right. I'm going to give all praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH for giving me the opportunity to do this lesson. I do want to give double honor to the elders and Apostle GREATMILLSTONE for teaching the truth by using precepts upon precepts and line upon line. Shalom.